us rolling. She's a big poser.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's like...
Just a bit of poser. Yeah. Sit up straight.
This is my moment.
It is. No, don't run away.
It's like, no, my moment's over.
Okay. All right.
That's probably a good way to start talking
right
about the dog. Hello, everyone. We are sitting here in Zkye's wonderful backyard. This is beautiful.
I'm a bit of an Alice in Wonderland kind of fairy person. I've written songs about it.
Yeah, cool.
And then added teapots to my tree, and...
Oh, this is making so much more sense now.
Yeah, live with the fairies, definitely.
Because I've been here on the lovely deck over there, but in the wee hours when it's dark, and so you don't get
most people don't see our place during the daytime unless it's the sun's rising.
Yes.
Yeah, not everyone sees it during the day and then goes, oh wow, is that what it looks like? You've got a tree. Yeah, and a backyard.
They'd be doing it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I actually still with it? Am I still awake?
I have no idea what's going on.
But yeah, so we're going to have a chat about the wonderful new Sing It Live song that we had a chance to recently perform.
Yeah.
I got to say, being given the Guernsey to play guitar was great, because it wasn't a song that I knew. Bring Me Some Water is a song that I've played quite a lot. In a similar way, it's quite simple, but it's very effective in its simplicity.
Yeah, it's got to have that driving sort of acoustic 12-string, that sort of vibe going on. And I'm a huge Melissa Etheridge fan, so I love her work, and I love her. There's an angst to the way she sings, but still there's these soft notes that come through that sort of join it all together.
When Darren mentioned that it would be a Melissa Etheridge song and that you were singing, I went, of course, just because of your voice. It was like, you were either born for it, or you guys are sisters from,
I wish. I was really excited because I've been singing quite a few of her songs for a long time, and I feel I can get inside them, but there's also a similarity in the places where, whether it's vocal damage or the rasp that we kind of both have, it works, which is, I love singing rock, and her songs are rock, but as I said, with a twist of something yummy in between. Like, there's always a beautiful, nice little breakdown in there, but in this song, it's got the breakdown that ends up getting really crazy, whereas it's different from a Alana song where it's always pretty intense. Even it's got those little flippy bits that flip into the falsetto, but Melissa's stuff's a little different from that, but in the most fabulous of ways.
So baby, tell me, does she love you like the way I love you? Does she stimulate you, attract and captivate you? Tell me, does she miss you, existing just to kiss you like the way I do?
So you mentioned that there's like a bunch of other songs that you sing, like it makes sense because of your voice, and you also mentioned about like the style of your voice. You've got a very husky sound, and like it leans towards that kind of genre, and it's good that you like singing rock because it suits it. Yeah.
I'm sort of pretty lucky. I can kind of sing that, and your soul, soul sort of vibes work very well as well, but I do a lot of country stuff. Oh, goodbye, Ziva. I've managed to manipulate my voice, I guess, in a way where I have characters that I use and choose for different songs. So I'll have I've got what I call my Cindy voice, which is when I want to try and get up nice and high and squeaky and get up there and get that nice lifted sound. Yeah. But I have to go into that character. And then I have my Tina voice, which is up there in the same way, but with more attitude and more, a bit more gravel in the voice. And, and then I have my Edda voice, which is a bit lower, but still, big round sound. And then I have my man voice. So I have all these different characters that I use that when my brain is saying, you can't sing that high today. And I'll flip into those notes are there, and it's okay.
Well, you've just given me about 5 at least questions to ask you, and now I've got to think, which one do I ask first? All right. So I remember that there was this gig where my old, young original band had the opportunity to play on a Thursday and a Friday, and so on the Thursday, it was almost like we had was hardly anyone there, and I found that really quite intimidating because, you know, I'm still trying to figure out how do I fit into this, you know, music industry, and, you know, it's like an identity thing of like, oh, does it mean that I'm bad if like there just happens to be nobody out on a Thursday? All of those kinds of things. But something happened to me on the stage where I just went, you know what? Why don't I just go for it?
Yeah.
And it was an amazing, exhilarating feeling, and very empowering. And I was driving away thinking, oh, that was great. Like, I didn't care how many people were there digging it. Now, anyway, so we were there on the same stage the next night, and the place was packed. And I crumbled. I choked. It was weird. And I gave myself, it was kind of like a phantom oath thing, like where I swear that I will never have that happen again. I will always be able to just, you know, push through. And like I've figured it out over the years that it's kind of like you flick the switch.
Yeah.
And I realized that it's kind of like a drama thing, it's you know, as you say, you're playing a character.
It's an act,
yeah. So that was what you reminded me of for me in my past. And so for you, when did you arrive at that, and how often do you need to do it, and how did you find it, and do you ever find that it's, you know, hard to tap into?
Whoa, man.
Sorry.
It started off when I guess I was needing to find a way, because I was going through a stage with my voice where I wasn't getting along with my voice, and it was, you know, fine for doing a few gigs, but when you're gigging 5-6 nights a week,
yes,
and I sing pretty hard, and I don't like singers that come up and just fluff their way through a gig and don't give everything. Like there's a story that I've told many times where my first year lecturer, he told me that you should play every gig as though you're going to be hit by a bus tomorrow, and that crowd, whether there's 3 people there or you're playing to thousands, done both, it makes no difference. They want to see a great show, and that you don't want them going away saying, oh yeah, I heard she was a great singer, but last show I saw her at was, you know, she didn't really look like she was giving much.
Off night.
And so, and so I never rest on my laurels.
Can I survive all the implications? Even if I tried, could you be less than an addiction?
In the studio, we're there, and we're about to chuck down our first take. I'm trying to remember, we didn't do that many, did we? It was about 2 or 3, maybe.
Yep, and the first take for me was the best one.
Yeah.
And then someone did something in the bridge and said, oh no, let's do it again. And I'm like, that was the best one, come on.
All right, so what do you usually go through on a day when it's the release?
I've forgotten sometimes until Darren said, oh, you're going up tomorrow? Ah, cool. That's great. Yeah, that's right. We did that a couple of weeks ago or something. It doesn't really affect me. People are either going to love it or, you know, it doesn't really matter so much what everyone thinks. I mean, it does, but if they're saying it's not, you know, exactly like the original, or you've done something different to the melody, or something, yeah, it's an interpretation. It's not supposed to be a dead ringer, especially when, you know, I, as a performer, don't necessarily know what I'm going to do. And I, not necessarily singing-wise, but performance-wise, nothing's usually planned in my head. It just happens, especially at shows like where I'll end up dancing on the bar and having a layback and you know, having a shot of tequila by the bar staff, and you know, things happen.
Yes.
And it's always exciting, and I think that's what people like about it, which is why I like trying to get something nailed in the first take, because then it's, you know, it's fresh, it's raw. And then if you have to do a second take, then it's like, oh, but I already know what looks good now, and I kind of wish I had been the first time.
Yeah. There are those times, in my experience in Darren's studio, I've noticed where like we're all starting to kind of just with the more takes, it's like, oh, this is getting better because we'd never thought of that. Yeah. But yes, it is the juggling act, isn't it? Of like, well,
keeping
did you
fresh,
arrive at
keeping it raw.
What is it that Zkye has got coming up?
It's about time I do a new whether it's a whole album or another EP. It's been a few years now after Sky Blue Volume 2, but it's time that I do some of the original stuff that I've been writing for the last bunch of years, and it's a real mixture of stuff. I mean, I'm being a piano player, I like my soul ballad sort of stuff, but I've got some country stuff in there. I've got a fabulous little, mostly vocal pop tune where it's basically all the harmony parts are all sung like instruments. So, and it's got, I think, 50 something takes of vocal harmony stuff going on all over it, which
Fantastic.
Not the way I do. Oh, nobody loves you like the way I do. Nobody wants you.
So how do people follow you on the interwebs?
So basically, there's not that many skies with a Z, so listen carefully. Zkye.
Could you dumb it down a shade?
Well, thanks for the chat.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you, Ziva, for squeaking.
Thank you, Ziva. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, there's a heap of other different chats that I do with other people for the behind the scenes, behind the sounds thing for Sing It Live. There's also another chat that I did have, was inside for Hallelujah.
Oh, that's right.
We chatted about that, which was
I totally
actually one of those-
remember that.
Yeah. So you can check out more from myself and Zkye there as well. So yeah, we'll see you in another one of these really soon here on the Crafty Music Tips YouTube channel. Wherever you are, stay rocking. Woo!
Cheers.
Woo!